Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. If you're looking for a heck of a Christmas gift, a great gift for yourself maybe, or if you're looking for a great way to start the new year, there's one solution to all that. A new or used, which means it's new to you, boat from Madisonville Marine. Awesome deals all year long, but boy, they've got them going on right now at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat. All right, kind of a quick segment here. And by the way, I did want to throw this out there because it came up in between segments. You mentioned that last segment. It's a shame you can't get, you're one guard short. Shame you can't get one guy, a transfer guy in here. And they did have that guy lined up if they could have gotten him in school, and that's Quan Four, who wound up at Louisville and is looking
pretty good.
Looking pretty good. So you had that in the mix if you could have gotten him into school over there. All right, anyway. Quick segment. To narrow things down, I'm going to only go back 45 seasons. The amazing thing, from 73-74 to now, Tennessee's only had 6 teams that played their last game of the year ranked in the top 15. So my question, let's go ahead and put them up here. My question is, where does this Tennessee team rank? Where can it rank? Where do you think it will finish in terms of talent and everything? You go back to 76-77 Vols, you see they finished number 7. There's the regular season record. There's their SEC record. They tied for the SEC championship. Ray Mears was the coach. They lost their first game in the NCAA tournament. That lineup, Bernard King, Ernie Grunfeld, Mike Jackson, Reggie Johnson, Johnny Darden, 8 assists a game that year. 80-81 team, Don DeVoe, man, that was a good team. Lost to number 5 Virginia in the second round, and Ralph Sampson, Dale Ellis, Gary Carter, Michael Brooks, Steve Ray, Tyrone Beeman. Then you got to go way forward 20 years. Jerry Green had a team that tied for the SEC championship, made it to the third game of the NCAA tournament. Yarbrough, Harris, C.J. Black, John Higgins, and our old buddy Isaiah Victor, who'll be back here next week, I think. Then you jump forward with the Mark Pancratz years, if you will. 07-08, 31-5, made it to that third game and upset by Louisville in that one. Number 13 Louisville knocked them off in 07-08. And then, of course, the next year they didn't win the East at all, but did go to the Elite 8, wound up in the top 15. Last year, I don't put the rosters up because you know what? It's pretty much the same as this year. They finished number 13. Gentlemen, let's leave that on the screen for people at home. Where might this Tennessee team rank? Just gut feeling. Where do you think this team stacks up in terms of talent, in terms of what it could accomplish?
I'd probably put it third. It doesn't have the star power of that 76-77 team. I mean, look at those names. They don't, Ernie and Bernie are better than any 2 players Tennessee has on this team. And then Mike Jackson averaged 16 points. Reggie Johnson had a long pro career. I think it could be third. The 07-08 team, I think, is going to be hard to beat. So I would say third.
Yeah, but then you look at that 76-77 team, and I was there when they lost that NCAA tournament game.
Lost to Syracuse.
They lost to Syracuse. So if you can go and do as far as some people hope in the NCAA tournament, I think you could potentially have the best Tennessee basketball team in school history.
I think this team is going to have it's built to have a good run in the NCAA tournament, and that ultimately will probably be where, how we look at them for posterity.
So you don't have one of those. You don't want to place it on the board yet.
Just ballpark. I like what Jimmy said. Golly, a team with Bernard King on it's pretty much got to be number 1, and then that 08 team. Yeah.
And Syracuse was pretty good. I mean, the whole dynamics of the NCAA tournament were different.
Syracuse was 10, Tennessee was 7. You would not see 7 versus 10
in the first round
game now.
It was a 16-team tournament, correct?
I hate to break to you, I wasn't even born on the first 2 lists.
Thanks.
But I would rank this team much different. Not the same star power by any means, but the way that they're built foundationally, how they play together, and there is no star, is what makes this team really good. Defensively, they're all in tune together. Offensively, with their 67% of their baskets are off of an assist, so it makes them really hard to guard.
All right, quickly, 45 seconds. Match up the team you were a part of, the 31-5 squad that lost to Louisville in the 3rd round, versus this current Tennessee team. What's the matchup look like?
I would say we would struggle. The Pearl team would struggle to win. If you remember, what's his name that was at Kentucky at the time, their head coach came from Texas A&M.
Billy Gillespie.
Billy Gillespie. We struggled to beat Kentucky teams because they were so tough, and that's what this team is. And so better star power on the Pearls team, better foundation, better principle. It'd be hard to beat this Barnes team.
Interesting. Now, I will say this team would get up and down the court, though, and that usually fell right into your guys' trap back then. But, okay, very interesting. He says this one. How about that? When we come back, we have a little bit more football to discuss. In terms of quarterback, should Tennessee go chasing a transfer quarterback? There are a couple out there, maybe. We'll discuss. Come on back.